as we go on here to the bracket to look at where we now stand, we are moving on to our second semi matchup between Mekon and Panda Mobby. And I will be perfectly frank, I don't know too much about these players. But as we go through the player cards here, we'll start with Panda, who is our 3 seed. And we've got the Among Us Trap Remix first ever FC. So clearly Panda is a player of culture. She also has a Supernovae Solo F -7. So there is some crazy raw speed and really solid transition speed. And then Ripened Pairs Actress Chart FC. I actually don't know the actress chart compared to the actual Ripened Pairs. I don't know Ripened Pairs that well either, but that should be enough to tell you a crazy amount of tapping is there. But if we're talking about tapping, we also got to talk about our 2 seed, not 3 seed because of the drop, and that's fine, is Mekon, who's got a Suicide Solo FC and an Olympian Hard Tech FC. That's actually crazy. To go along with their Water Elemental Tech FC. So a couple of Tech FCs. So to hit some upper end, really crazy sections, there's definitely reason to believe that it's possible for Mekon to have some really, really strong runs. Now, it will be interesting to see how that translates into a 1-run scenario like this, where you only have 1 shot and you can't miss your opportunity to blow. So it's going to be interesting to see how these players can handle the tournament nerves going into the semifinals matchup here. This is the matchup that when I first saw which matches were going to be happening, I was most excited about. I don't know a lot about these 2 players, but they're seated right next to each other, and that usually means that we've got a close matchup coming up. That'll be exciting. I want to shout out Mackee, the organizer of this here tournament, who has done a fantastic job of not only creating a new, very unique tournament style and making it available for different players than are kind of tailored to in other types of tourneys. And I think that's very important to try and include as many different people as possible and give a competitive option to those players. And this is a great way to do it. We are going to be getting into this match shortly. Panda versus Mekon for a chance at the finals and a chance at a guaranteed at least what's the money breakdown again? Third place is $10, second is 30, and first is 60. So if whoever wins this gets at least $30 guaranteed. All right, here we go. I can confirm that both players have no modifiers on for anyone interested. But yeah, it's gonna be Penger, then it's gonna be Prevail. So here we go. Another very unique. I think that's the trans pride flag on Panda's side. I don't know for sure, but unique nonetheless with the red star. Here we go. Tap intro here. Both players with a couple of drops. Panda struggling to get into and then there's another just straight up stop playing by Panda, which has turned it because there's both of these players are fantastic. Although, right as I say that, Panda with actually a crazy combo on that ascending part. And again, oh my god. That is spicy as hell, and still with that combo. Mekon now with a other crazy combo to counter that under star power that's sending trips moving. That's crazy. Panda, and then, okay, so now, I mean, from that second solo, it looked a lot more even keel. Panda's, from chat, Panda's computer overheats easily, causing frame drops. That could be a huge deal, especially for when you're talking about speeds this high and charts this complex. That can definitely be a big issue. But yeah, here we go. Coming up on the last, or this is the last solo here. Nice little streak from Mekon again. Solo 18 now. Nice ladders from Mekon. Golly. And now I mean, so far so good for Mekon. And then hopefully for Panda, Prevail offers a bit of a mental reset point where they can kind of get back into a rhythm. Again, she's clearly got the ability. There's no doubt. I mean, you saw the player cards. Both of these players are excellent. But right now, Mekon clearly was the one who was really ready to go for the start of this one. The bold act, but I don't hate it. Although actually it was probably right on point. And there we go. Panda's right on a big streak to open up Prevail. Getting back into a nice rhythm here. Mekon, couple drops here and there. Man, Panda's still hitting all of this. Okay. First drop from Panda is, I think that was the third sequence of that. Drops the star power phrase. Unfortunate for Panda looking to make any dent into that lead. I think at this point, I don't want to call it meteor territory, or I don't want to call the match yet, but it would take a pretty large drop from Mekon and a pretty large going ham from Panda to come back into this one. There are not many dense parts until the solo. Even at the start of the first solo, there's not much that gets really dense. But once it gets going, it is transitions all over the place. It is very fast patterns all over the place. So it is a real challenging chart to maintain large combos on when you get into it. But it's kind of perfect for practice mode in that sense, where every single section, once you really get the song going, is very complex and needs its own time to be working. We are going into the first solo here. Not, well, as we've discussed, not the most difficult solo, but a good way to kind of dip your toes into the difficulty of this song is this first solo. Drop there from Panda. Mekon looking really nice there. Into the ascending trips. Both players hit it, but then Panda drops in a funky little section there. Very nice from Mekon and Panda. Oh my goodness. Yeah, really nice from both players on that section. Both just absolutely tearing through it. Awesome solos from both. Mekon with slight advantage. Going into this tricky little pattern with a lot of very tight transitions. Both players looking very strong, but Mekon just a little bit better. And the star power doesn't hurt either. Coming up on staggering solo, let's see how it goes for both these players. Into the trills. This very nice trills from Mekon. Didn't quite get the transition. Both players out of that, though, looking very strong. Oh man, and Mekon, especially in this solo, is very, very strong. Panda also, I mean, looking very strong on Prevail when you compare to the Penger run. I mean, it's night and day, really. Yeah, very nice from both players. Very tight with those threading timing. Here comes some fast. Oh, actually super well played by both players on that. Insane transitions there with the speed involved, so even getting part of that is insane. Ooh, that was a nice little times too, and that blurb there from Panda, actually. Okay. Back into this pattern we saw earlier. Almost a consistency check, as I mentioned earlier. When it comes to the solos versus this section. This section, no joke either, really tough little technique changes you gotta make relative to the rest of the song. That was a nice little time score from Mekon there too. Very fast stuff. Here comes the money. Mekon's got the phrase. Panda with a couple of nice little combos in there. Wow, okay. I mean, Mekon getting the ×4, and he got the Prevail pattern as well. So not nearly as large a point difference in the second chart there. But yeah. So it's going to be Mekon with a very, very strong, decisive win to send him to the finals. Panda Mabi is a great effort, but she will unfortunately not take this one. But we'll still have a chance to compete for the third place. 75%, I've got a feeling a lot of that percentage drop is because of Penger. Yes, minus 1,500 in Penger. So that makes sense. Definitely a strong run by both players. And again, Panda looked right back into rhythm, or at least very close to it, going into that one. Waiting to see if we will get an interview with these players. But a 91% from Mekon, 1 percentage point lower than Berserk. This is going to be a very interesting final. I'm also so curious to see how Panda plays in the third place matchup, because I feel like Panda's ceiling is incredibly high, as we know, but obviously it was a tough go in Penger. And that song is by no means free. There's nothing in this other than the intro of Penger that is free. So we will be getting our two players in for a interview, and they both join us now. Panda, well, wait, hold on. We do not have everyone here yet. Panda just popped back. But Mekon, welcome. Congrats on the big win. That was a great run. 91% is no joke. There were some crazy combos you got in there. How do you feel about the match over on? Before you answer, as we also welcome Panda back. Panda, congratulations. I know it wasn't necessarily maybe how you wanted that run to go, but still, especially. Oh, go ahead.
I had some technical difficulties into Penger.
We figured that might be the case, and I actually want to ask you about that in just a moment. But sorry to interrupt you, Mekon, on that question. How did you feel on that run?
Penger had me a little nervous. I was like, I'm really bad at that chart normally, and the fact that it's a tapping chart, but it's all hopos, so it's very brutal and punishing if you miss.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to practice it the best I could before the match started, and with Prevail, I'm pretty I know the chart pretty well, other than it's fast and there's some parts I don't have the speed for, but I know the charts pretty well. I prepared the best I could, I guess.
As a follow-up, is that kind of how you expected your first run of the day to go?
About, yeah. I could have done a bit better on Panger, I think, but I think I was around where I was expecting it to go as far as just score and notes and all that.
Yeah, definitely. And Panda, as you mentioned, as you joined, some technical difficulties on Panger. Do you want to kind of elaborate on that for everyone?
My laptop overheats and it sets my frame rate all the way down to 30 FPS.
Ooh.
So yeah.
That is unfortunate. That definitely makes sense. It did look like things cleared up a bit for Prevail, because you definitely looked a lot more comfortable when Prevail started.
Also, I was really nervous about Penger because I was used to the tap notes chart, and there's a lot of.
Oh, wow.
In the first run I did of Penger with hammer-ons was 75%, and I did not like that.
Yeah. Although that being said, I'm sure that you've got a much stronger run of Penger in you.
Yeah.
Considering it was minus 1,500 in Penger, which I'm actually glad you showed that, because I was very curious. It really was in Prevail a much closer matchup between you two. So both of you are moving on to play one more match, and that will include Crystalline. I guess I'll start with Mekon. How are you feeling about Crystalline?
Well, it's like if you combine the challenges I have with Panger and Prevail into one chart that's twice the length. I love it though, but yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. It's got Strummer verse or whatever. It's got Quince, and there's a lot to that chart. I'm excited to play it because it's really fun.
I'm excited to watch it. Panda, are you excited about it?
I'm gonna be honest, I've never played the chart in my life or seen it.
All right. Well, you and me both. We'll both learn. But yeah, so Panda, you will be moving on to face. I have it, Pascal, and Mekon. You'll be playing Berserk. I can't remember off the top of my head how Pascal's run went, but Mekon, for your knowledge, you got a 91% on the semifinal chart. Berserk had a 92, so it was
Ooh.
very close.
Ooh, it's gonna be good.
It
I
is
know
going to be spicy.
Berserk's good, so
Yeah,
this will be fun.
it'll be a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, so you guys know we will have a brief intermission, as has been mentioned in the pro chat. But we'll have a brief intermission. Then we'll do our third place matchup between Skylar and Pascal, followed by you, Mekon, versus Berserk in our grand final. So yeah,
Cool.
best of luck to both of you moving forward. Thank you for joining us for the post-match interview. And yeah, good luck moving forward. Go win some money.
All right.
So that will do it for our player interviews from the final stage of this tournament. When we return from intermission, as I just stated, we got our third place matchup between Pascal and Panda, followed by our final between Berserk and Mekon. We're going to be seeing Penger, Prevail, and Crystalline. So we'll see you then. And welcome back, everybody. It is time for the final round of matches. We've got our third place matchup between Panda, Mabi, and Pascal. They will be competing for the, I want to say, we just said the numbers and I forgot. I think it's a $10 third place prize. And then the final between Berserk and Mekon. I'm still learning people's names. And that will be, both players will be winning some money. $30 for second place, $60 for first place. Big money, big charts, big tapping. That is what it's all about today. So got some exciting matches coming up. The first match between Panda and Pascal. Pascal showed a little more consistency in their matches and seemed to get better as they progressed. So we'll see if that trend continues going into this third place match. Whereas Panda, a higher seed in terms of how the qualifier played out, ended up having some real technical issues in that first match, which, to be frank, Mekon played so well, it would have been tough to have overcome that anyway, but it is going to be crucial for that to not happen in this third place matchup for all the marbles that are available to them. We actually have them in the lobby now, so we should be starting shortly. To remind everyone, back from break, Penger is first. Then we go on to Prevail, and then we end with Crystalline. You could argue that these charts increase in difficulty as they go. In fact, I think it would be hard to argue otherwise. But someone more well-versed than me could confirm or deny those statements. These really are, we're not playing Crazy Bus. These are, especially Penger and Prevail, some of the most notorious tapping charts or just custom charts in general that there are. Even someone like me knows about Penger and Prevail. So to see them both back to back in a tournament setting is actually insane. Honestly, it's so insane. I would love to see it again sometime in the future, maybe in a larger setting. But it is now time to get into this third place matchup between Pascal and Panda. The wait is over. No more talk. It is time to prove it on the battlefields of Crystalline. This is finals, Pascal. So here we go. Our slow intro in Penger will set the tone. Slow is relative, obviously. We'll see. There was the early drop from Panda. We'll see how much bad frames Panda has to deal with early on. And if Pascal can take advantage of it, happens. I mean, nothing's free. And you never want to take for granted the fact that your opponent may have some technical issues, or else you end up not focusing on your own play and leaving the door wide open for someone to come back once things settle down. So if you're Pascal, you just have to focus on what's ahead of you, focus on playing your game, regardless of what Panda's doing. I mean, you know that Panda's going to end up ripping stuff eventually, so you got to be on it. And as we start here, Panda, the first one to ×8 on the intro tapping here, and holds a really nice combo through that. Actually looking very strong in this intro, although Pascal also fighting to stay with him. But Panda, big star power pickup, and actually opens it up to about a 25k lead early on. Both players tearing through that section. Oh my goodness, that was really nice descending trips with some quint zigs in between. So out of that first section, it is a slight, almost 30k point lead for Panda, who's coming out hot. Coming up here on the first big solo of Penger. Slight whammy advantage for Pascal. There's the act. Pascal held that ×8 a little longer, but Panda back to ×8 faster. Pascal able to hit that descending trip section. That was nuts. But then Panda, oh my goodness, with this section is absolutely tearing through it. That was crazy too. Here's the same section again. Panda, same result. Pretty much hit the entire thing. 93%. A great solo for Panda versus a good solo for Pascal. Gonna open it up now. I don't want to do quick math live on stream. That's a bit above my pay grade. So, both activate there. Clean zig there for Pascal. Kept the ×8 for a little longer, but then Panda right back to it. But then Pascal really maintaining a nice streak there. Cuts into that lead a little bit, I think. The really, really tricky part with all these boards, we haven't seen anyone really tear that section yet. And I mean, it's hard to do. That's not a slight to these players. I mean, what they're doing is ridiculous. This sweep section proving to be an issue, maybe a bit of an overheat issue for Panda, who just stopped completely there for a second. I mean, and as they were mentioning earlier, it's all hammer-on, so if you lose your combo, you got to get back onto it with a strum. And you're probably tapping, so it's probably an elbow strum. And getting back right into rhythm, very difficult. Also, you never know which note might be the one that Clone Hero decides to apply your strum to, so when you think you're getting back on combo, you might not be. Pascal going way back, and now it's less than 5k. In fact, it's like a 2-3k lead for Panda. With those issues early on, now Pascal takes the lead, and they're kind of samba-ing. Going step for step. I mean, yeah, it is so close right now. My goodness. It's back and forth. Whoever wins the section is going to be in the lead. Panda with a much larger percentage point as of now, although gets a stop there, leaving Pascal a little room to work back. Man, Panda opened it right back up after having the lead lost for a moment there. I mean, it just goes to show these songs are so note-dense, so point-dense. Things can flip so fast, even in a 50, 40,000 point difference. It can disappear in an instant. So now about a 45k lead coming up on the end of Penger. And yeah, if I'm Pascal, I would hold this star power until Prevail. It is actually slightly biting into this lead here. It was for a moment there, Pascal on the ×4 on those sustains, while Panda had a drop there. So at the end of Penger, it's going to be about a 26k point lead for Panda. And we've got a long way to go. So this is by no means a large lead. This is going to be a very interesting matchup. Coming up here on Prevail, let's see how they can execute. Early drop from Pascal, but the star power activation. Panda looking very strong, though. That's a very nice 250 note streak. Activates up to 300 note streak. Still hitting everything is Panda. Opening it way up right now. Absolutely torching this section. First drop there. Pascal hanging tough. but Panda showing some real execution here. But the missed phrase is going to give a big boost to Pascal. It's a lot more points. I mean, a full act ahead of Panda in terms of the acts right now. I think neither player ends up getting that star power phrase. I mean, that is one of the hardest sections in the entire song. I've heard it said that that might be the least consistent section of the song for some players. I think that's like a riff-raff thing, though, who can hit staggering solo. So, I mean, take that with a grain of salt. But regardless, very difficult section. The action is so quick, barely finding a moment to breathe. But we do have a second to breathe here with this slower section of Prevail. I don't know. I know there's a couple of breaks coming up. Like there's one in Crystalline at the start as well as the end of Prevail. So, but this is kind of the last break between now and the end of Prevail. So from here on out, it's just going to keep getting faster and faster. So this is going to be a very important section for Pascal to try and stay in this, especially with this deficit and a big act from Panda there. Drops from both, who are actually both on pretty nice streaks there. So a little more complex patterns now, picking up some speed. Panda really nice and hits the phrase with the act now and comboing. That's one thing Panda's done very well. That is actually, along with that section, which was played very well, also streaking through these star power acts, which has been very important for building a big lead. Although that lead slowly might be, actually no, it's gaining a little bit, but it's still within 100,000. In fact, it's about 90K as of now. But here comes the very fast. Here comes staggering solo. Panda goes into it with a ×4, but cannot maintain. I mean, that is no easy feat for anyone on this planet, so to be expected. Here comes the trills. Pascal gets a nice ×4 there. Panda with the act. Pascal holding on. Full bar now. Activates on the chimneys. Panda looking so strong. Although that was a nice little star power pickup for both of those players. Yeah, wow, that's so fast. Zig time. Rum section here, and as we hit that, it's about a 110,000 point lead for Panda. So slightly inching forward, ever so slightly. 100,000 might not seem like slight, although the drop there from Panda, but she's able to get the phrase. Very important moving forward. So here comes this next solo. Big speed on these zigs. Nicely played by both, but no one able to fully get that section. Whew. Pascal looks really good on those quick ascending trips, actually. Blob section right there, nicely done by Panda. Now about 150,000 point lead or so, maybe 160. So Panda definitely gaining a little bit on that lead. Nice phrase pickup by both. My goodness. I mean, we have seen this pattern before. This is the quote-unquote, this is the check, but now into this pattern, leading into this big, chunky solo, full of fast patterns and very quick transitions. Money coming up. No Prevail patterns today, but it is a big 210,000 point lead for Panda coming into the end of Prevail here. The points gained back by Pascal will be negligible at this point. Just a couple of notes under ×4, but it is looking like a big lead for Panda. Another drop there. Again, not the end of the world. But keep in mind, Panda told us that they have not played Crystalline yet. So this is a sight read for Panda coming up versus Pascal, who this is their third match of the day. Going to be interesting to see if a comeback can be made, or can Panda hold on? Can Panda's hardware hold on as well? Anything can happen, and we are about halfway through the song, so it's all going to come down to this. 202,000 points, just about. a classic slow build to start. The drop there from Panda, but not enough to negate getting that phrase. And a little whammy from both. All right. Whammy gang, I see you. Like I said, I also have not seen this chart. Very curious to see how it plays out. I did peek at the path, so I've been told the first tapping solo is coming up. Yep, that sounds about right. This is like Penger too. It's like Penger mixed with Lunar Luminance. Okay, and then that also exists. So very tricky tapping, especially for sight read, although Panda, nice little ×4 there, and also for Pascal, who now had a nice little rhythm there for a hot minute. Oh, man, okay. So a lot of really quick transitions in this, as well as a lot of moving taps on these quick little trill sections. Oh, that is so fast, Pascal, nearly getting that star power phrase. So it's still about 210,000 point lead for Panda at the moment. Phrase there for Pascal that Panda did not get. Those phrases and comboing under star power can be huge for any comeback attempts from Pascal. Whew. Man, with those open notes thrown into that, that just adds another degree of difficulty to that section, which already was incredibly tricky. A lot of like ladder-esque stuff mixed into all these trills and moving zigs and descending triplets, quads, zigs. Nice little porting section. Wow. I mean, this is really every single tough pattern possible, basically. And there's the moving, descending triplets. I mean, it's a 2% difference right now in the solo note set. Less than a 100,000 or 200,000 point lead now. Pascal has gotten 100,000 back. Fast strum check. Pascal rips it. Nicely done. A little bit of strumming here. This is strumming verse, which I know was mentioned as one of the hardest sections. Nicely done by Pascal to get that phrase. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that is very tricky. Both players able to get that triplet trill down. Although, as I say it, they both dropped a phrase on it, which is unfortunate. But now, I think a much smaller lead, actually. I think another 20,000 points have gone towards Pascal. So now, I mean, inching closer, it's still a large difference. It's going to take a lot of big combos for Pascal to work back into this. It's possible, though. Man, that section is crazy, and Panda on a sight read getting a big combo there. Whew. Yeah, and they're about even on this solo. I mean, it's a slight advantage for Pascal. Actually, now it's about a 3% advantage. That is crazy sweeps right there. And it's about a 165K lead now for Panda. Again, it's inching closer and closer. There's still a lot of song left. Also, the star power advantage for Pascal and the advantage on the combo there, getting some of those sustained extra points. Constantly working down that lead. The cheeky chord right there. Nice. Tough to hit that when you're not ready for it. Ooh, both players hit that though. It's gotta be, it's always tough to hit these stuff, especially when it's in the middle of a bunch of other solo stuff, but when it's just isolated like this, it's gotta be a little nerve-wracking almost. Especially in a tournament setting. I mean, you gotta remember both these players are also, they only get one shot. And Pascal still inching their way closer. Because every once in a while there's a small little Panda drop here and there. Although right now this is good. They need to focus on not dropping stuff like this. Just get the free stuff. Overstrum maybe from there, I would guess, from Panda. And another combo break while Pascal under star power. It's about about a 150k difference. All right, so we're getting into another solo here, and that is very fast. It is. The fact that there are so many topos in betwixt these tap notes makes it that much harder. That's a nice ×4 from Panda, actually, during that section. Panda's top end has actually been incredible so far. Really, really tricky section right here. Both players looking, oh, wow. That streak from Pascal, oh my goodness, that was insane. Panda also super clean. I mean, again, this is sight read from Panda. Ooh, nice little hitting that open trill section there from Panda. No phrase for Pascal. Panda gets it. Big zigs. Zig time with their hammer-ons, though. So if you miss, yeah, it's rough. A couple rough misses under that star power, honestly. Ooh, both players doing really well on that last zig, though. And I think Panda's opened it back up. Back to now, I want to say, 230k lead. And that's exactly what the doctor ordered if you're Panda. Big descending quads here. This is like a consistency check, basically. Wow. I mean, Panda, especially at the end, really got it going there. Yeah, and the descending speed on these trills and quads, or trips and quads, that have been in the second half of this solo are just insane. Oh, big chording changes. The fact that Pascal even got a ×2 out of it. Crazy strumming in there, too. And again, one of the big things that's really making this a tough thing to combo on is these hammer-on sections that just throw a wrench in everything. One miss into those hammer-on sections, and you have to strum again, and it's so hard to get back on pattern. And it is opened up for Panda. Approaching the end here of this chart, and it is a comfortable lead for Panda. And the act under these sustains bold, but here we go. When you don't know the chart, sometimes you just have to act the feel, worry about hitting the notes. That's all you gotta do. So I get it. Big phrase there for Panda. Oh, man, Pascal almost hit that entire thing. I mean, Pascal doing everything he can to fight back into this. That is a really nice run of that at solo, actually. But time is running out, and it looks as though Panda is going to walk away with this one. The $10 third place prize pool, the bragging rights, and the big dub on this gauntlet of a final song, which is Penger, Prevail, and then Crystalline. That's a heck of a performance by both of those players, but it is Panda who gets the W. Third place. Let's just double check the notes missed. It was really close. Wow, that was close. Oh, man. Oh, and Pascal would have had it on Ghosts. Oh, man, that was very close. Holy cow, that was close. Okay. Well, I mean, I shouldn't have counted my chickens too soon, because you got to remember, in this tournament, it goes down to the 3 categories of Ghosts, Notes Missed, and Score. So it was not over when I said it was, as a matter of fact. That is, oh man, 100-note difference. Who knows? Who knows what could have happened if Pascal was having a great day, if he didn't have one more match to play. I mean, but on a song that chonky, it's hard to assume anything. I mean, there's so many moments where you could really improve, but then, I mean, who's to say you're as consistent the rest of the song? Crazy stuff, though. Almost got that dub regardless, which is pretty nuts. So we'll see if we can get an interview with these 2 players, these 2 excellent pro-level players. All right. Well, we are now joined by our third place finisher, winner of the third place match, Panda Mobby. Congratulations. I was a heck of a match, and it was actually much closer than I thought when it came down to notes missed at the end.
Yeah.
But so how did you enjoy Crystalline?
I got like 25% through during the intermission. I didn't know it was gonna be that hectic near the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
that got
was
a
like
bit
shaking in the
crazy
end.
at the end there.
I was like shaking at the end. Yeah.
How did you feel going into Penger, or I guess maybe after, like a little bit of a ways into Penger, once you kind of had an idea of how your setup was interacting and how things were going? Did you feel a lot more confident this match?
I did because I literally have an ice pack on my laptop right now.
Nice. Wow. Big strats.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't get any water damage.
Yeah.
So, well, you win the $10 prize pool. Congratulations.
Nice.
Of the tapping gauntlet. So you can throw that one on the mantle. Congratulations. It was actually insane to watch you play, you and Pascal, because that was a very back and forth match. How were you feeling when that lead got flipped for a quick second there? I think it was in Prevail. If
I
not,
didn't
it
even
was.
notice.
Oh, okay. Actually, do you have opponent highways on?
Yeah, I do.
Interesting. So you were just locked in.
Yeah, I was just focusing.
Got it. Yeah, no. There was a quick moment. You had been up by like several tens of thousands, and then the lead flipped for just a second.
Yeah.
Midway through one of the songs, but you fought back. You had a really, really nice couple of combos, especially you were comboing really well under star power.
Yeah. I normally just star power where I feel comfortable.
Good idea, honestly.
I
Get
just don't
those.
have like a path or anything.
Yeah, I was showing this to Mackee earlier. I've got the path for the entire chart, and it's like 30 some activations, and there's only 2 of them that are like next note. So I'm like, why would you even use the time learning that? It's just act where there's a big blob of notes and you're comfortable. So yeah, it worked out well for you, clearly.
Yeah.
And then you were able to get the 100 notes missed win. How did you feel you performed in this tournament overall compared to kind of what you were expecting going in?
Other than Penger the first round, I think I was doing pretty decent from like practice.
So basically, kind of what you were expecting?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I mean, clearly you are playing at a high level, and you're also aware of that. So, congratulations on your run. It was a pleasure to watch, and it was very cool to see you come back from having the technical issues and then getting to truly show why you were seated where you were.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that will do it for the interview. But thank you so much for joining us again. Congratulations, Panda, and yeah, hope to see you in another tournament soon. Best of luck in whatever you choose to work on in the future as well.
Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Until next time, Panda.